Okay, we should be live, folks. Welcome to Tuesday night's training here at Ingresso Cybernetico. We're very excited, obviously, to have you here. Really excited to share some information with you this evening. Some questions have come in just recently on the IC lead pages. Now, here's what I want to ask you guys to do for me real quick first before we get kicked off. If you guys could just let me know over on the chat side there that you can see the screen, that you can hear me okay. Just giving me a yes over here so that I can, so that we can make sure that we move forward. I believe we should be good to go because I did test the page out and everything, so I think we're good. But I'll wait for those yeses. Here's what I want to say while we're waiting for those. You know, one of the things that's been brought up recently is obviously, you know, some of the core features of IC lead pages. Some of you have not even used IC lead pages yet. And here's what I'm here to tell you. If you're not using IC lead pages, you're really missing out because lead pages, sales funnels, autoresponders, all of that stuff, folks, that is here at Ingresso Cybernetico, we can't talk this evening, is part of the sales process when generating leads and conversions and sales. Okay, that's what Ingresso Cybernetico is here to provide you, everything necessary to do that and to accomplish that. So IC lead pages is one of those products, folks, that you absolutely have to have when it comes to building a business and a brand online, and we have it here. Now, here's what I do want to tell you is, you know, one of the things about IC lead pages is there's a lot of enhancements coming. So we wanted to do this presentation real quick to kind of show you some core features, or that I wanted to do the presentation to show you some core features, but I also know that there's some incredible things coming as far as enhancements when it comes to, like, you know, for you to be able to set up an entire funnel, sales funnel, right from within your dashboard. Okay, a lot of you had heard that announcement that Dwayne did here just in the last few days. So hey, I can't wait for that. So, but tonight I'm going to show you some core features of the IC lead pages. Now, here's what I want to tell you, folks. Before I jump into this presentation. A few weeks ago, I think maybe a week or so ago, we did a webinar on the Cybernetico Live webinar contest. Okay, here's what I want to ask you folks tonight. You know, how is that going for you? For those that are actually participating in the Cybernetico Live contest, we have had a lot of people give feedback and bring feedback to the company saying, hey, you know, I've already got a sale, I've got leads, I've got people asking about my business. Here's what I'm going to tell you. The reason why we did that is because video is truly the most powerful way to get your name, your brand, and to generate sales and curiosity out there on the internet today. It's the most compelling thing when it comes to people beginning to know you through social media channels. So here's what I want to encourage you tonight. As I'm waiting for you to type in the box here to let me know that you can see and hear me okay, I also want to ask those that are participating in the Cybernetico Live program, you know, the Cybernetico Live contest, challenge, I guess you could call it. How is that going for you? Have you seen results so far? Are you doing a webinar once a day, as we said, you know, part of the commitments to that Cybernetico Live challenge? Here's what I also want to tell you. If you're watching this presentation for the very first time, which, well, I shouldn't say that because we are we are on this for the very first time, but if you're hearing about Cybernetico Live Challenge for the very first time, go back and watch the recording from last week on Cybernetico Live Challenge and take that yourself. You know, it's going to help you build your business, your brand, and really get the results you're looking for when it comes to building your Ingresso Cybernetico business if you're not seeing some type of activity within your business right now. But tonight, folks, I do want to let you know we're going to talk about IC lead pages only. Now, I'm not getting any response in the chat box here, folks, so if you could let me know, please, somebody type over in the chat box, yes, that you can hear me okay. I don't like to start the webinar unless we have confirmation of that, so please, if you would, do that for me. And we'll wait for those confirmations. So give me just a moment, and I will wait for those updates. All right, well, it looks like everybody can see me and hear me okay, so great. All right, well, let's go ahead and kick us off here. Now, let's talk about IC Lead Pages. You know, IC Lead Pages is truly a very, very powerful system to use to create sales funnels. Some of the core features are, folks, you can literally create sales funnels with a few clicks, you know, save, edits, you know, a few different things. When we're walking through the system, right, you've got a section down here which shows the last 10 pages you've created. You can click the button here to show all pages you've created. Here you got some quick reports, some quick analytics, you know, that show you how many times your sales funnels have been clicked on, all that great stuff. And you can also be specific to each product that you're, you know, each sales funnel that you've created, so that you can see kind of like a snapshot. How many views has it gotten? How many unique views, meaning how many people actually click the links, not just open the page. And then, of course, you've got opt-ins, right? Opt-ins that have literally filled out your capture page and have been brought into the next destination, whether it be a next page within the sales funnel, or whether it be directly to the website in which you've chosen to drive that traffic to. Now, here's what I want to tell you. What you want to do is, the first thing you want to do is, of course, you've got some menus up here, right? Here's what I want you to do, though, is when you're going through and you're creating your sales pages, what you want to do first is you can either click here to create a new page, or you can click here to create a new page. Or you can copy a page that you've already created. Completely up to you. All right, I like to click this button here just because it stands out to me. So when I click this page, what it's going to do is it's going to bring me over to the dashboard. Now the default is that it's going to bring us to all of the sales pages, okay? It's not bringing us to all of the templates. So you can click up here and click all templates, and you can now see every template that the company has, Ingresso Cybernetico has, for you to be able to use. And these can be used for webinars, these can be used for sales pages, these can be used for confirmation pages. I mean, whatever you can think of, folks, you have the ability to do that. Now, let's just go in here real quick. I'm not sure why that's not displaying properly. It could be my browser, because the internet is extremely slow over here today. Let's click on sales pages. All right, and there it goes. All right, so here's what I want to go through. You know, what I'm going to do today is I'm really going to kind of show you the core functions of how to set up your initial capture page, and then go into obviously creating some additional pages within that sales page. It's really simple once you get the concept and once you get this all set up and get comfortable with it. Quite honestly, you guys have all heard me in the past say that, you know, IC Lead Pages is one of the only systems I know of where if you can literally click, edit, save, and publish, you've got a capture page, right? Let's go in and look at the different opt-in pages. Opt-in pages are really one of the primary products that I use the most. And the reason is because there's really some really amazing design capture pages. Okay, I call them capture pages. They're called sales pages as well. The sales pages, though, are actual pages that usually is the second page that they're going to land on. Okay. So just to give you feedback, the capture page or the opt-in page is the initial page, and then you've got the sales page, okay, which is the next one you want to click on. Now let me just actually, okay, I just want to make sure you guys can see me. Okay, perfect. All right, so let's go in and actually create a sales funnel. This is going to be much easier with the new funnel system that's coming with the enhancements of IC Lead Pages and the funnel system. But right now, what you can do, though, is to set up your sales funnel. All you got to do is go into opt-in pages first. All right, and then I love these ones that you click on to show the opt-in form. You can use any ones that you want, though, folks. I mean, whatever your preferences. See how these actually have the email and the name or whatever that you can put in without clicking on anything. Some people love those. Okay. I really, really like, though, the ones like this up here. Okay, so I'm going to pick the one on the beach here, this one here. All you got to do is click the button. Once you click the button, it's going to pop up with your editor, right? It's going to pop up with the information here. Now, you can click this button here and it'll go full screen so you can see how it'll look, because it does stretch the text, because it is mobile responsive, right? what I'm going to do is leave that open because I kind of want to walk through this with you. As you can see me run my mouse down here, see how these are highlighting? That means that these are you're able to edit these over here, or you're able to click on it and edit it over here. Okay, doesn't matter. What I'm going to do though is very, very quickly I'm going to show you how easy it is to set up a capture page. First thing I'm going to do is I'm actually going to name my page. Right, I'm going to name it Ingresso Cybernetico. Okay, once I'm done with that part of it, because you definitely have to name it first. Once I'm done with that part of it, I'm going to go over here. Now I don't need a image up here, but if you do want to change the image, you just click it, and of course you can upload right here. You can upload. You just click Choose Files, and you can upload a different image within here. Okay, if you don't want to show the image, all you got to do is click Hide, and it goes away. And then click Done. That's it. All you got to do over here is if you want to change the text of here, what I'm going to do is I'm going to click on here, you know, this is an incredible marketing tool to build your Ingresso Cybernetico business. Okay, so you can see how that text now shows up right here, right? So you can actually, you can bold it if you want to. It's completely up to you. I'm actually going to leave it because it is already bolded over here, so it's actually set up to bold automatically because it's really your header. You want it to stand out. You want it to be bold. All right, what I'm going to do is click Done from there. I'm going to go down here and I'm going to change it. Now see, it's on 2 lines. Now here's what I want to tell you is if you click over here, it's on 1 line. So it depends on what you're viewing the capture page on. If you're picky about that stuff, just make sure you extend this first so you can see how it's actually going to look as it lays out. What you can do though is you can change this. Now, I'm not actually doing anything related to a free video, so this is where you want to make sure that you read this as a default because you want to change it if, in fact, it doesn't match what you're trying to promote. In this case, I want to put enter your email address. So I'm going to put enter your email address to get access to this information, right? Or something. All right, you guys can kind of get creative with that. Once I'm done with that, I'm going to click Done. Over here, here's the button text. Now I want to change that because it's not related to what I'm getting ready to do because it says Show me the video. I don't have a video on the outside on the back end of this. So I'm going to click it. Now it does pop up with a form here, but look what it does over here. It says Show me the video. So it's asking me to modify the button video or the button text. So I'm going to put click to continue, okay, and then I'm going to click Done. Now I'm going to go back over here, and now it says click to continue. Now this button is blue. Maybe you want to change that color, right? So click it again, and see where it says Change Button Color. You can click it, and what it'll do is it'll actually bring up an editor, okay, which you can see it here, and you can actually go in here and kind of change the button color however you choose. Really kind of awesome, you know. I'm going to just do it like a light blue. And I'm going to click OK. All right, so now if I click Done, now you can see, folks, it changed the color to a light blue. Completely up to you. You guys can customize it. You can actually change the color of the text as well. Now down here it says your information will never be shared with a third party or shared or sold with a third party. I'm going to change it up just a little bit. I'm going to say we do not like spam, and we promise, you know, never never to spam you or something. I don't know. Okay, so you click Done, right? Down here, you want to be specific to your company or maybe the domain in which you're going to mask this URL up here too. So what I like to do, folks, just to give you some feedback, is what I like to do is where it says legal information, I usually take that out of there, and it says copyright 2014, and it says at icleadpages.com. Now, I'm not going to be using icleadpages as my ID, so I'm going to put it as, you know, johnsmith.com or whatever it is that you're forwarding this domain to, because you want it to look very professional. You want it to look like that domain that you're masking this URL to is the domain in which you're marketing from, right? You can change this to like you know, Top Gun Marketing or Top Notch, you know, whatever. If you got a domain, topnotchmarketing.com, excuse me, you can do Top Notch Marketing you know, whatever, an LLC, or whatever it is that your company is or is doing, you want to make sure that you personalize this. If you don't want it there, just click hide and it'll go away, okay? Or you click show and it'll come back. And once you do that, you just click done. Now, there's nothing else on this capture page to edit other than the box that's going to pop up for you to opt in, right? So here's the core functionality of this. When you click it, this is what pops up, and this is what the customer has to enter their email address in. Now, this only collects the email address, okay? So what we want to do is I'm going to personalize this up here because I want to correct the spelling, and I also want to do some other things. So it says enter your email address so that I can send you the information. Right? Something to that effect. Now, what I'm going to do down here is we're going to keep this the same. I'm going to click done. We're going to go back. I'm going to keep this the same. Enter a valid email address here. We're going to leave that there. And then, but down here, I want to change that button. I do want to keep it orange because it definitely sticks out for those people that you know, you're marketing. Here's what you can also do, though. You can change the color if you want it to stick out a little bit differently. You know, you can change it to a red, maybe, right? I like red because it sticks out a lot better. So you can see it change the front end color of the button, but now it it didn't change the color of here. So maybe I got to click it and then change it to red, and then hit done. Did it change at that time? Okay, no. Maybe this button here, folks, you cannot change. I'll bring that up to the support to support to see whether or not that is actually supposed to change, because it does give us the option there to change it. So here's what I would do. Maybe I would leave it actually orange because it does stick out very well. You can actually change the name, though, that's on the button to click here to proceed. And I have a feeling that's going to change this. Yes, it did. Okay. So I'll bring that up to them because you should be able to also personalize this here. I believe that's what it was supposed to do. That's okay. We will look into that because as they're enhancing the system, sometimes things like this will happen. So because they're making the system even better than it is now. But in most cases, you're not going to have to change. You can change this up here. All right, it let us change this up here, but it didn't let us change the color of this button and the text right now. It will eventually let you do that. But here's the deal. We click done, right? We're all done with the system. Now, we've already named our capture page. Now, here's what a lot of people fail to do or they forget to do when they get going. They forget to connect their autoresponder first. Now, you have to go up here, and for all of you that didn't see where I just clicked, I'm going to go back again here in just a minute. But you've got to click Autoresponder Service, right? You've got to click Magic Responder or Aweber, depending on whichever one you're using, and you've got to collect your form ID. Now, I'm not going to show you tonight how to get your form ID, but this is definitely one of the core functionalities that you've got to complete in order for this capture page to work for you, okay? You have to get your form ID. Now, here's what I want to tell you to do. Remember, this capture page only collects the email address for the lead. Do not create your capture page on Magic Responder to collect the name and the email address, okay? We've done training on that in the past, so you guys can go out there and check those videos out to get more information on that. For the sake of time tonight, though, I'm not going to be able to show you all that part of it. But here's what you do. You get the form ID, right? Let's just say the form ID is that. I'm not going to enter a redirect URL unless I want to drive them to another place. Now, the form ID within Magic Responder, if you set a final destination, that is where the lead will be directed from the form within Magic Responder or Aweber. You don't have to worry necessarily about this. Okay, you can put it in there, though, just to be safe. You can put it in there and hit done. Now, exit pop. For those that are not familiar with exit pop, exit is when basically somebody is driven to this capture page and they click exit because they don't want to enter their information. Do you want something to pop up there for them to click? And if they click to stay on the page, it'll take them to another page that takes them directly maybe to your sales page or something. You can create an exit pop. And what it'll do is it'll display pop on page close. Do you want it to display something when somebody exits out of it without opting in? I'm going to leave it no, but you can click yes, and of course you can fill out the information and get that completed. I'm going to pick no for tonight, but Tracking codes, you can use Google Analytics. Not going to get so much into that this evening. But you can click tracking code, and you can do a header tracking code or an N body tag tracking code. That's really for more advanced marketers that are split testing and doing other things with their capture pages. That's completely up to you. SEO settings, though, folks, SEO really has a lot to do with, for one, it's for search engine optimization. It's so that if you put information in here and you've published your page out there on the internet, if somebody types in a keyword that you've specified in your SEO setting, a lot of times if you do SEO correctly, your page will pop up within the Google search. So that's why it's important to fill this SEO setting out if you're going to use this as a long-term capture page. So what you'd want to do is put in here, opt in to get, free information or something like that. It's got to be eye-catching. Right? It's got to catch their eye. Now here's what this page title does. It actually shows, see where it says main page up here? In certain browsers, this is actually going to appear up at the top when they come to your page. The description, I don't really worry too much about the description, but the keywords are very important. So if I'm marketing Ingresso Cybernetico, I'm going to put Ingresso Cybernetico, can't spell this evening, Cybernetico, and I'm going to put comma, okay, because it tells you separate with commas, and I'm going to put IC, and then I'm going to put IC Tool Suite. I'm going to put IC Lead Pages. I'm going to put Cybernetico Live. I mean, just think of the keywords people search for when they're searching for Ingresso Cybernetico. Maybe somebody saw some information out there on the internet about your business opportunity or about something that was posted about your business. The keywords in the SEO really comes into your benefit if you do it right, to where you can identify, you can actually capture leads of organic traffic for people searching just Google for the information as opposed to opting into a capture page, right? So in a lot of cases, like for example, if I'm in Georgia, which I live in Georgia, so if I'm in Georgia and I want to market to people in Georgia, and somebody just happens to type in Ingresso Cybernetico Georgia leaders, right? I'm going to type in here under keywords Ingresso Cybernetico Georgia leaders, and I'm going to click done. Now what does that do? Once I publish this page and I'm marketing on the internet, whether I'm driving traffic or I'm posting it on social media or I'm doing other things, those keywords are going to start to actually be ranked within Google. The more people click on your link, the more chances you have of it showing up in the search engine. Now here's what's really cool. You want to use distinctive keywords, long tail keywords actually, which is basically like being specific to a question, because people don't search necessarily by just typing in one word anymore. A lot of people type in multiple words, like how do I make money online? I live in Georgia, what is the best home-based business opportunity? It's a long tail word, it's a long word to type in there, but it's to your benefit to have those type of keywords, those type of words in there, tags, all of that stuff in there to make sure that people can really find you on the internet, because there's a lot of competition out there. Unless you're doing paid traffic, these are the ways that people can identify you and identify your business. Okay? Now here's some other things you can do with this. I'm not going to go through all these, but we've actually already covered a lot of this stuff here. You can actually change the background. Now, it does tell you that there's a recommended size, folks. You've got to make sure that you've uploaded at least this size. If you're not familiar with trying to get images of this size, go to Google, click on the Images tab, and then narrow your search down for the size in which images you're looking for, and then of course identify whatever you're trying to find. So if you're trying to find a beach picture, which we already have, but if you're trying to identify a beach picture, make sure you identify the size in which you're looking for through the advanced search, because you don't want to have an image smaller than this. It's okay to have an image larger than this because it'll appear okay, but you want to have an image at least that size, not smaller, because it will not make your capture page look right. Okay, now here's what we do. We click done, right? I'm not going to change the background today, but that's how you do it. We've got the name, we've got the autoresponder in here, we're not doing an exit pop, we've done our SEO settings, we've customized it, it's personal to us, okay? And we did not change the background, which we could do, but we're not going to do that this evening. All right, all of that's done. What do I do now? Well, all you got to do up here is click Save. Do not click Preview just yet. Click Save. Okay. Now, what you can do is, what I like to do is go to my pages, and once it's going to direct me to my pages. Now, here's the page I just created, Ingresso Cybernetico. Now, what I want to do is I actually want to go up here and I want to visit the page. I want to see how it looks on my browser, because here's the key to your success on the internet. Testing everything that you create and going back and testing each and every week, because if you don't, certain things happen with your sales funnels where it could affect you gathering leads and delivering those messages that you're trying to prospects. It's very important for you to go back and always test your stuff, because sometimes things break. Sometimes enhancements comes to the systems that affect your sales funnels. You got to go back and save it, or you got to edit something, okay? But look how beautiful this capture page is, okay? I would opt into it. And then what's really awesome is that I take this here, you click it, it looks very, very professional. What did you have to do? What experience did you need? Really just the fact of being able to click, edit, save, and publish. And then here's what a lot of people forget to do, is this link right here, folks, is your actual link to drive traffic to. Now, here's what I want to encourage you to do. Do not go out there and promote that link. Okay? You might be asking me, why would you say that, Dylan, now that I've got a link for it? Because what you want to do is you want to have a domain, whether you buy it through GoDaddy, whether you got it through Ingresso Cybernetico, whether you've got it through HostGator or some of the other providers out there, you want to have a domain that is much more easier for people to type in, because I'll tell you right now, people are not going to type in icleadpages.com/p/page/in1fyxa. They're not going to type that in there, and if they do, they're going to mess it up. You need to find a URL that's very, very easy, and it's also applicable to your business. So in this case, you know, let's just say we're doing Ingresso Cybernetico. So I see the icteam.com. Let's just say for that. I don't know who owns that domain. I don't go there. I'm just telling you as an example. Let's say it's icteam.com, right? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to GoDaddy, and I'm actually going to mask my domain, mask this domain right here to my URL. I'm sorry, take the URL and mask it to my domain that I own, and I'm going to mask it. I'm going to actually do forward with masking. Remember that, forward with masking. What does that do? It just means that the prospect or the person that goes to your capture page will never see this link. Okay? Forward with masking. You guys will all see it there when you go to actually forward your domain. Some of you are familiar with that. We have done training for that in the past. So that's it. You now have your capture page set up. Now, what would I do next, right? So if I was to go to Magic Responder and set up a campaign series, of course they can click on, they can click this button, they can enter their email, and they can click continue. Where are they going to go next? Well, that's the decision you need to make. Do you want to send them to another sales page with a video on it, or do you want to send them directly to the destination which you're trying to drive them to? Either way, they're going to be programmed through Magic Responder or Aweber to get your campaign series so that you can kind of drip on them, as we call it, over the next 7 to 10 to 14 to 20 to 30 some days. You want to have pre-built email campaigns in there for you to be able to send messages on a few days basis, kind of spread apart, and of course have your links, your programming, your verbiage, all of that stuff programmed in there for you. So that's what you want to do. Make a decision there. Now, let's say you want to drive them to another page within IC Lead Pages. Here's what you would do right now until they come out with the full funnel system, right? What you're going to do now is you're going to go in and you're going to create another page. And now you want to create what's called a sales page. Now, the sales page is really good in delivering either the video or the information in which you wanted to provide them without actually sending them directly to a website. Because a lot of times, folks, if you send people to a website in which you're marketing, the websites are not typically set up to do the selling for you. They're there to literally kind of pique their interest, not tell the whole story, but to get them into a registration form so that they can obviously get started within your business. Now, here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to look through the different pages. I'm going to see what's going to be beneficial to me. If I want to use a video page, then of course there's a ton of video pages here. This girl with a thumbs up here, I'm going to use that one, okay, because it kind of really stands out to me. There's some other ones. This one's really cool, but it has a lot of text on it, and I'm not going to do that for the sake. I really like this one here, but I'm not going to use that for the sake of training tonight. I'm going to use this one because it's got less text. So I'm going to click on here, and I'm going to personalize this. Now, I'm not going to go through all of this for the sake of time, but you guys all get the idea. You got a girl giving me 2 thumbs up. You've got some text down here, and actually it's a little longer than I thought it was going to be, but here's what you can do. You can actually click this, right? And let's say I want to hide this whole area because I don't need it. Just click hide. Well, it actually just hid the box there, but you guys can get the idea. You can actually go in here and hide all this stuff. Hide. It's a lot of work, but you can do it. You can personalize it however you choose. If I don't want to put this here, I can actually hide it as well, right? If I don't want the button there, I can hide that as well. I mean, you guys get the idea. But here's the advantage to this. What you can do is you can create. You don't have to put another header there because this is an internal sales form. You can hide that too. I'm going to put a video here that's going to tell people why I'm asking for their information once they've entered it. Or maybe I promised them a video, so I'm going to enter the embed video link here, and I'm going to click done, and of course the video is going to show up here. Very important, folks, that if the company tells you, if Ingresso Cybernetico tells you to only include a video at 670 by 386, that you do that. Make sure, because it will not look correct on this screen if you don't. Once you get that done, you can personalize all this stuff. You can, again, you can save it. I'll just say sales page. Okay, you can save, okay, and then of course you can go to My Pages, and here's what's really awesome. You now have a sales funnel set up. Now, how do I complete the sales funnel, right? I've got 2 pages there. How do I complete the sales funnel? Well, what I do is now I take, here's my first page, here's my second page. I need the link for this second page. So I'm going to visit the page, and I'm going to take this link right here, like we did before, and I'm going to exit out of this, and I'm going to go back to the first page, and I'm going to click. Let's see. I'm going to click Visit Page, so I can see it again. Actually, let me go back. I'm going to actually edit. So I'm going to click Edit, and it brings me back into the editor. Now, when somebody clicks on this button right here, I want it to send them to my destination. How do I do that? Well, right up here where it said autoresponder service, you remember how it asked you to enter a redirection URL? Here's what I'm going to do. I'm just going to paste the URL for the other page in which I created for the sales funnel. You can do this multiple times if you choose. I'm going to click Done. What I would also recommend that you do, so that we make sure that the prospect goes to the right destination, is if you're using Magic Responder or Aweber, that you also take that link that we copied for the previous sales page, and that you also add it to the form code for Magic Responder or Aweber. If you do not, there could be a large chance that they might be directed to the wrong destination. So that's why we say test your sales funnels before you go out and run traffic or pay traffic to your opportunity. Okay, folks, I'm done with this. I'm going to click Save. The template is now saved. I am actually going to go back to my, actually I wanted to click Publish. Let me go back. Will it let me back? Nope, it's not going to let me back. All right, so if I go back here to My Pages, I think I'm going to see a duplicate of what I created. Nope, there it is. So I'm going to click on here. And of course now, here's my capture page. I'm going to click this. I'm going to enter my information. Now this is not connected to anything, so I don't know if it'll drive me directly to that second page, but it did not. So it's looking for Magic Responder's form code, okay? I didn't actually include that in there, so that's the reason why it's not driving me to that destination. But here's the exciting part, folks. Your sales page and your capture page system is done. All you had to do is set up the initial page to collect the lead, and then if you want to drive them to another page to create a page where you can add a video, a button. On the second page, there's always going to be a button too, because you want to give them the ability to go to the next phase of your sales process and typically that next button is going to drive them directly to the destination of your choice, whether it be a different company, Ingresso Cybernetico, or something else that you're promoting on the internet today. And folks, you can see in real time, this is actually giving us statistics based on the funnels that we actually created, the pages that we created, and that's pretty much it. So we're 35 minutes past. I'm going to go ahead and take some questions. If anybody has any questions, I know that you will. Please feel free to ask them now, and I'll be more than happy to answer them here as we're on the call. All right, so somebody asked, let's see. How can you add a line for asking name on opt-in form? You have to actually find a capture page right now that has that. Most of the sales pages, you're going to get higher conversions if you just ask for the email address. Just as a heads up, you'll get more conversions if you just ask for the email address. If you want one with a name on it, you can go back and look. If there's not any of them there right now, I know that is coming with enhancements, so just kind of keep an eye out for that. I believe that there are some capture pages, though, with names, if I'm not mistaken. Let's see. Change the color, yep. Can we go to GoDaddy with the domain we got from IC? No. You have to, if you've got a domain with IC, then you have to use it through IC. You know, that was delivered to you through IC. Can you transfer it later on? You can contact live support, and I'm sure that they can facilitate, you know, the information on how to do that, or they'll look into it for you. And I think your question was to mask it. No, you can't. Here's what you want to do, though. With your domain through Ingresso Cybernetico, one of the primary focuses around that is that you have to have a domain to set up your hosting. So with Ingresso Cybernetico having all of the products available to you folks, one of the purposes of the domain is, for one, to give it to you as value, but also so that they can set up your hosting for you through the Ingresso Cybernetico back office. So you got to issue the domain first, then of course the hosting, and that's how they can facilitate that. Now, as far as forwarding though from that domain with masking, no, I don't. I'm not familiar with the way on how to do that, which I'll look into that because that's a great question. As of right now, there is not a way for us to mask anything to that domain that I'm aware of. Okay, because it's actually being hosted through IC Host World. Once you have hosting set up on a domain, you can't mask it to another domain, just so you guys know. All right, I'll stick around again for a few more questions if anybody has any, but we'll wrap it up here, and keep your eye out, obviously, for all the cool enhancements and everything that's coming with the IC lead pages, and of course the funnel system, where literally you're going to be able to set up entire funnels without having to go in and create each page by itself and having to figure out how to track each of those pages. It's going to make it very, very easy for you to set up an entire sales funnel. It's going to be pretty awesome. I can't wait for it. So any other questions, folks? Any other questions? Y'all are too quiet. There's got to be questions out there. we get so many questions on IC lead pages that there's a reason why I'm doing this presentation tonight. Is because we do want to address some of those questions on how to do, keep it fresh in everybody's mind on how to use this, because it truly is a very powerful tool in building your brand. So please do not be shy to ask a question this evening. There is no silly questions out there. Truly, it's important that you ask them so that we can get your questions answered, so that it removes that boundary of you not taking the steps forward and using the product. I'll stick around again for another 3 minutes or another minute or so. If I don't see any questions, then I'll go ahead and we'll wrap it up for the evening. But Thank you all so much. I really do truly appreciate, obviously, you all taking time out of your schedule this evening. And we've got another great training on Thursday night at 9 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. We've also got new member orientation tomorrow night at 7 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. So there's lots of stuff going on here at Aggressive Cybernetical, so stay plugged in and all that stuff. So let's see. Let me see. Somebody said having trouble to get text lines after. Let's see. Having trouble to get text lines back after it's hidden. All you got to do is go back to your sales page, and you got to remember the area in which you hid. Okay, but you can go back and just to give you kind of an update on that. Like if I go back here. Let me pull back up the main page. So at Ingresso Cybernetico, I'm going to go back to the editor, and if you remember, I hid this image up here, right? So here's the header image over here. Now you can't click over here and go back to the menu. You have to go over here and kind of identify. And remember, it's not going to highlight it because it's not there. So you got to click on the area in which you hid before, and then click Show. Now it'll come right back. It's the same thing with the text. I'm going to hide it again, but I'm going to go back and hit Done. Let's say I want to hide this text right here. Again, go to the footer text and hide it, and then click Done. Now, if you have done that, you just have to remember what area of the capture page. Now, here's the trick. From top to bottom, typically is how this is set up. So if you can see, it typically goes from top to bottom, right? So just remember kind of what area was it that you hid, and look over here and kind of identify, and you can see what's highlighted. And if all of a sudden it skips past something, then click on it, and if it says hidden, then click Show, okay, or click Hide, one or the other, or click Show. Okay, you guys can see how it works. But that's how you would get around that. So hopefully that helps you there. Somebody said tomorrow I will have questions. Karen. Yes, this presentation was at a nice pace and clear direction. Okay, perfect. Well, thank you. Sometimes we go fairly quickly because of the time, but hopefully, again, folks, these are all recorded, so you can always go back and watch them previously, or watch them again. Of course, to fast forward, rewind, at your pace as well. So. And folks, everything I'm showing you this evening could change a little bit as they enhance IC lead pages. I know Tom actually has a training set up to also address some of the things about sales funnels and things like that. So you're kind of getting like a double training this week on some of these topics. So it's actually good. So now I see some other things coming in here. It says if I want to use IC lead pages, I need to get in the Business Specialist Business Center to use it. You have to be at. I want to say you have to be at the. I don't want to say that. Is it the $100 level or the $300 level? I can't remember. I believe it's you have to be at the $100 level to use IC lead pages. It may be the $300 level, but I'm pretty sure it's the $100 level. If you go into your back office, Damar, just look at check the drop down for products, and look to see if it says IC lead pages. It should identify it there for you if it's there. Okay, somebody said lines and sublines are tricky, and check marks can be put back after you hit. Yes, they can. It is tricky though. If you're going to hide a lot of stuff on a capture page, you may not be using the right capture page, for one. But secondly, if you are hiding a bunch of stuff and you want to bring it back, then yes, it can be very, very tricky. All right, we'll wrap it up here in just another minute. If anybody has anything else they want to add, feel free to. You're very welcome. And folks, if we're not going to cover obviously domain masking or forwarding with masking and all that stuff, but if you ever have some of that simple stuff that you're looking for, We did cover it in previous trainings, but if you don't want to have to kind of search around for that stuff, go out to YouTube and just type in hosting with masking. Hosting masking forwarding a domain with masking. And there's so many different videos out there. Quite honestly, if you want to know how I learned how to do everything on the internet today, it's truly YouTube, reading, and of course paying attention to what everybody else is doing. That things that caught my attention, I just learned how they did it, and I do it better. That's just the way I do it. So I would encourage you all to do the same thing. Susanna, if it's asking you to put an image back, put an image, and then if you want to hide that image again, just click hide after you do that. And folks, here's what I want to tell you to do in closing. I just want to, if there's something there that's not working the way it should or the way that I've showed you this evening, here's what I want you to do. I want you to save your page where you're at, clear your cookies, and try either that same browser or try another browser, because it can sometimes affect the way things work within the capture pages and things like that. Firefox is a great browser to use. Chrome is a great browser to use. If you're using Safari, I love Safari because I'm a Mac person, but I don't use it much anymore because I'm an Android guy. So although I have a Mac, I love Android for my cell phone. So it's much, much handier for me. So I use Chrome a lot more than I do use Safari anymore. And if you're using Internet Explorer, I would eliminate that altogether, because there's no reason why you can't install Chrome or Firefox on your Windows PC to use. Do not use Internet Explorer. It's not a safe browser to use. That's where people get viruses. That's where people get their computers attacked, malware, all that stuff. It really comes in through Internet Explorer. It's not a good browser to use. So not to say that you can't use it, I just wouldn't use it. So, all right, folks, for the sake of time, I'm going to wrap it up. I want to thank you all again so much for your participation, your questions, your attendance this evening, and we look forward to obviously seeing you on the next training on Thursday night, 9 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. Check out the links there in your back office, and then, of course, plug into the new member orientation if you have not done so, or any of your team members have not done so, at 7 o'clock Eastern Standard Time tomorrow evening with Dwayne Jr. So with that said, folks, have a wonderful evening. Take care. God bless, and I look forward to seeing you on the next webinar.